Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. As you guys know, it greatly helps the channel. Now, TLT keeps going at 94, going higher, at least stable, which is what we want. Blah, 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 that doesn't matter for today's video. It's actually funny when things happen one day after the video that I made. So yesterday I made a video talking about how people that got into crypto very late, they try to compensate the moves they've lost by over leveraging themselves. And then they see their positions get liquidated, and in a couple of days, the market is right where it was before. Now, this makes me look smarter because this happened exactly the day after. So we are pretty much at the same level as we were yesterday, with the difference that $400 million in leveraged longs have been liquidated. So congratulations for all of those who are part of those $400 million. I hope you learned your lesson going forward. Now, we are simply progressing through the cycle. We are in the first week of altcoin season. You see that by how the Bitcoin dominance has come down. However, altcoin seasons always start a little bit slow. But when they go very fast, and they don't last that long. So you need to keep that one in mind as well. So it's like a bright fire that shines very intensively, and then it burns out as quickly as it was building up. So Ethereum is now close to $4,100. As you guys know, I've been talking about Ethereum about this for months. So for everyone else, apparently they are very shocked. For people who follow this channel, you have literally zero surprise. This is exactly what we've been talking about. Ethereum was below 2,500 before the election. As you guys know, I've been saying that by the end of December, $5,000 will be the number. Most likely, worst case scenario by the mid of January. At the time, it looked like a crazy prediction. Even a few weeks ago, looked like a crazy prediction. And as I've said before, I repeat the exact same phrase that I used, which is, it will become obvious soon enough. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing different about it. And I made the point of talking about this more extensively and more aggressively, if you will, the day that crypto banter guy, Ray Nuna, whatever is his name, said that he was ending his toxic, abusive 4-year relationship with Ethereum. Now, I have a challenge for my community here, people that watch me. See, I'm a busy guy. The rest of the year is actually going to be quite busy in terms of work. I'm going to make my last investment next week. The reason why it's next week is because it will stem from sale of my shareholding in certain properties. So only next week I will have that money available. Otherwise, I would do it yesterday. But that will be my last investment. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm juggling a lot of plates, so I don't have that much time. You guys need to tell me when Ray Nuna starts to be very friendly and talking very positively about Ethereum, because that's one of my, I hope your friend Somi doesn't mind, one of my prophecies is that you're going to see that guy pretending that he always loved Ethereum and he never doubted, and he's been in Ethereum for so long, and I just want to see him talk positively about it once again. Now, when it comes to finding value in situations like this, now this is how I operate. You see, the derivatives of Pepe, the lottery tickets that I have, Andy, Hoppy, Boppy, they are, they are derivatives of the Pepe's narrative, which is clear a cycle 1 unicorn. Then the trick is to find value in them. So what are the fundamentals here? Is Pepe going up? Fundamental number 1. Are the number of holders going up? Fundamental number 2. Are the number of Telegram users going up? Fundamental 3. Is Ethereum itself going up? fundamental for? If the answer to all these questions is yes, then what I do is I look at those and I say, is one of them undervalued at the moment? And my answer is, I think yes. I think Hoppy is undervalued for a very simple reason. Andy is 285 million market cap, and it has 24,000 holders. Hoppy is 70 million market cap, so a 4x to match up to Andy. However, it only has a little bit more than 3,000 less holders, 3,500 less holders. So that's less than a 20% difference. So that tells me that Hoppy is very undervalued. And I know that Hoppy will pull up Boppy when it starts to pump really, really hard. And the reason I'm talking about, I'm not trying to incentivize you to buy anything. That's not the point here. What I'm trying to say is, this is how you look for value when you're making your decisions. So in this sense, if I didn't have all of them, what would I do? Would I buy Andy? Probably not. I think I would get better value somewhere else. I think Andy will still do very, very well, probably a 10x from here at least, until the end of the cycle. I think Hoppy will do very well, but it's also 70 million, but I do like Boppy because it's very low market cap. Now, the thing is this. The fundamentals precede the price action. So the fundamentals are in place today, and then the price action follows afterwards. If I think that Hoppy is going to do very well, then I think also that Boppy with the B will also do very, very well. So then I decide, okay, which one is sold the most, which one is the cheapest. This is how I pick. The point is, there are a lot of situations in which value can be found like this, or not necessarily value. Maybe value is a bad expression. This is how you can tilt the odds of getting correct lottery tickets in your favor. So one of the reasons I also invested in, I put a little lottery ticket in ETH guy, is because obviously in Solana, a lot of the guys have been doing very, very well. ETH guy I bought it under 150k market cap, extremely cheap. If Ethereum is going to do very well and the Solana one's going to do very well, I'm willing to bet that this one may get at least maybe 1 million, maybe 5 million if I'm lucky. The point is, if I go from 150k to 5 million, that's a lot. That's the key. If I lose 500 euros. No, actually less than that. What am I saying? $300, $350? That's how much I got into it. Not even, I didn't even get to $500, I think. I don't know, I would need to check. But I know it was underneath 150k market cap. That part I know. The point is, this is how I think makes sense looking for value. Or looking to tilt the odds of a lottery ticket in your favor, because at the end of the day, these are lottery tickets. Maybe they don't do well despite Pepe. Maybe Pepe crowds them out, all of them. Maybe Hoppy gets launched in Pulse Chain even, and it outperforms the one in Ethereum. Possible. You see, those communities have withstand 90-95% plus drops. They've been around for months, and they've lost none of their momentum. Hoppy, in effect, had its biggest whale he liquidated his entire position of $3 million plus and got out. And people were like going crazy, and they said, no, this is perfect. You see, if he sold now, he cannot hurt the price later. Once again, you get this wrong. When Germany was selling Bitcoin at 55k and everybody was losing their mind, what did I say? This is great, because the Germans, if they could, probably they would be selling now, causing much more pain. And if Bitcoin goes to 242 to 276,000 like I predicted, they could have hurt the price much more than this. Understand, if the DOJ has been selling Bitcoin over the counter or whatever, that's great. That means the US needs to go and buy it, and the price hurting has already happened. It's behind us. Change the way you view things. what Ethereum is doing right now is nothing new. I've been talking about this for months. If you follow this channel for any length of time, you know perfectly well what to expect. You look at the price, you wake up, you see $4,100, you say, I'm not surprised. And then you go on Twitter and everybody, oh my God, Ethereum. And these guys are now positive on Ethereum. You already know what to expect. When I was not talking about altcoin seasons in January, like certain people, and I waited and waited and waited, and then I got here in late October, early November, and I told you, altcoin season should be starting middle of December, but because we've been front running the cycle, it may start earlier in early December, and here we are in early December with the altcoin season starting, evidenced by the Bitcoin dominance dropping. Once again, you are not surprised. Is this different than previous cycles? No, it's the same. It's all driven by liquidity. You see, the game is being played not by us. The game is being played by the central banks. They are debasing your currency. You cannot buy a house anymore in many countries. Or the top 20% will be able to buy a house, the bottom 80% will rent forever. Who has told you this? The Davos elites. They've told you by 2030 you will own nothing and you'll be happy. They've told you. They are not lying to you. Good luck securing your future with stock valuations the way they are. Is it a bubble? No. Why not? It is simply the debasement of your currency. Your currency, my currency, our currency, the dollar, the euro, the yen, is simply worth less. Usually, I've given this analogy many times before, but I will do it again. How many bear markets in crypto there have been? Most people say 3, 4. The answer is it depends. In Argentinian peso, there's been 0 bear markets. Why? Because that currency devalues faster than what Bitcoin goes down in what we call a bear market versus the dollar. So no, in Argentinian peso, there's never been a bear market. Does that mean that Argentina is in a bubble of appreciation of? No, the currency is getting destroyed. Our currencies in the developed world, if you will, the euro, the dollar, the whatever, they are going through the same thing, just much slower. So you don't see it. You feel it. There's something wrong here. This is why certain people win certain elections. In France, the Netherlands, Germany, Italy, Spain, the US, the UK, Korean government impeached, Japanese prime minister assassinated. All these things due to the revolt of the masses, because they know they're getting screwed, but they don't really understand what's actually happening. But you guys now know, and once that currency debasement happens, there's only 2 assets that beat it: NASDAQ and crypto. Crypto developed a new concept called commodity. It fused the concept of a commodity with digital scarcity. You see, digital, up to the point of the invention of Bitcoin, digital meant abundance. It used to cost money to call people abroad. WhatsApp became free. This used to be very expensive. The internet came, digital made it free. I said, how many things can you think like this? There's so many. What was the problem with digital? How can you create value if you're producing abundance, in some cases extreme abundance, in really some cases infinite abundance? You need to combine the concept of how commodity works and digital scarcity at the same time. That innovation led to Bitcoin. That's it. There's no big conspiracy theory. There's no masterminds working on the background. The reason why the 4-year cycle in crypto is so obvious is because the liquidity cycle is the same as the Bitcoin cycle or the crypto cycle. There's no difference. Coins which have less liquidity act as leverage, as natural leverage on Ethereum. When I say natural leverage and on Ethereum, sorry, altcoins which have lower liquidity act as natural leverage on Bitcoin. Now, what that means, people who don't know, is natural leverage is like leverage on the movement of an asset without the liquidation factor. So, for example, the S&P 500 moves 25%, the Nasdaq moves 35%. The S&P drops 25%, the Nasdaq drops 40%. Get it? That's it. That's all it means. Once again, guys, cycle continues. If you ask me to bet right now, do I think we're going to have a double altcoin season? I think so. I think we're going to pick the first one around March, April, sell off into the summer, August or so, and then the final hoorah at the end. One thing to keep attention is that a lot of the coins that will peak 12 months after the halving, so that would be March, April 2025, will make their peak there and won't come back to new all-time highs in the second bubble. Which one's going to be? We don't know. We need to see. And with that, thank you very much for your support, guys. Really appreciate your viewership. I hope if you're new here, you're coming over and you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I hope you stick around. For all of those who've been following me religiously and been following me very closely, there's nothing here that is surprising you at all. And with that, thank you very much. Catch you in the next one. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to be traveling next week, so not for business, personal. So basically the setup that I'm going to be is going to be a little bit different, just so you know. I'll be back in the castle by Thursday. See you guys later.